In Congress, July 4th, 1776, a declaration by the representatives of the United States of America.
When the Declaration of Independence was signed, the British still expected to defeat the American rebels.
And if the British had won, the men who signed the Declaration would be arrested and maybe put to death.
Supporting independence was a pretty dangerous decision, so it's no surprise Americans had a lot of different opinions about it.
Were the signers founding a new nation, or were they traitors to Britain?
When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them a decent respect.
The government gets its power from us, the people.
The king derives his power from God.
If the government is wrong, it is our right to change it.
Well, so if you don't like the law of the land, you overthrow your government?
This king has done nothing but hurt these colonies.
He has cut off our trade with the world. How are we to make a living without trade?
He has made our laws null and void.
Everything that is right and natural and moral pleads for reconciliation.
Even now, he sends foreign soldiers to destroy us.
What gives you the right to abuse those who are loyal to our king?
You are loyal to the king that declares war against his own colonies.
Hey.
You have driven him to it. That's enough. This is your independence. Enough. This is the treatment I get for obeying the law.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Beg your pardon. Oh, excuse me. Oh,
Sorry.
I'm so sorry, bud.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Adams.
Yes. Do you know me?
No, my name is Suki, sir.
Ah, you are well?
Yes, sir.
I'll be on my way.
Well, sir, may I have words with you, sir? Sir, I do believe you voted on that independence, that declaration a few weeks ago?
Indeed, I was in the committee that drafted it.
Well, I was there when they read it, sir, and that man made no mention of liberty for us Negroes.
We cannot demand liberty for slaves at the same time that we were declaring our independence. The delegates would not agree. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday is not going to help me and my children,
I'm
sir.
very late.
Well, sir, my husband has gone to fight with the British, sir. He went with Lord Dunmore down to Virginia, sir. The British have promised us freedom if we would come and fight with them, and my husband said he would go even if he were to lose his life to get us our freedom.
You have a devoted husband. Please excuse me.
Oh, yes, sir, but, sir, I am American-born as you. And I do not believe that this independence is liberty for all people. Maybe liberty for you, sir. Thank you, sir, for helping me with my things.
Oh, I beg your
Mr.
pardon.
Adams, have you heard the news?
Mrs. Taylor, I am in a rush.
The peace commissioners are here from Britain.
Yes?
The British are giving us another chance. They want to make peace. Just think, we can put an end to this bloodshed.
The British will not recognize our independence without a fight.
No, of course not. We have to forget about independence and remain subjects to the king.
Well, you have no sympathy for me on that point. You must pardon me.
Mr. Adams, my husband is in New York with the Continental Army. You can save his life. Is independence so important that we all must lose our lives and the country be laid waste for it?
I am very late.
Oh, begging your pardon, Mr. Adams.
Oh, for the love of heaven, I'm late for a meeting!
Sir,
Thank you. Oh, might you point me to the Fox and Grapes Tavern?
headed that way myself, sir. You don't mind walking with an honest tavern keeper?
Not at all, not at all.
Actually, I had a question for you about this declaration.
All right.
Can we really be independent by just saying so? Why didn't the Congress settle on a plan of government before declaring?
Dr. Franklin, isn't it?
Yes?
You are a traitor.
I beg your pardon?
You voted to tear this colony from Britain. You are a traitor, sir.
I represent all the people of Pennsylvania, not just you, Mr.
John Merchant. Now, I have sworn to obey my king. But my neighbors torment me at every chance. They've even threatened to coat me in hot tar and feathers.
Stoop as you go through the world, and you'll miss many hard thumps. I'm very late. Perhaps another time?
There is no more time. This is my country as much as it is yours. This was my father's business and his father's. But now I have no customers, thanks to your blasted revolution. I'm taking ship for London. But know this, Britain will destroy this colony. And it will be upon your conscience, sir. If you know it's good for you, you'll make peace.
Dr. Franklin, are you well, sir?
Did that carriage injure you?
Thank you, gentlemen, but I simply must fly.
My friend and I have been very hurt by some laws passed restricting trade.
'Tis a pity. An honest man cannot even make a decent wage.
Kindly let me pass. I'm a working man myself,
Yes!
believe me.
That's why I wanted to talk to you. To thank you.
'Tis a good thing that you declared independence when you did. British laws for too long have restricted our trade. Independence means men like us will have work again.
Thank you, Dr. Franklin, for what you've done for our country, my children, and my grandchildren. Well, thank you.
And those British peace commissioners, send them packing.
What a morning. Oh.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rutledge. Dreadful heat today.
Summer in Philadelphia.
Mr. Rutledge, I understand you intend to sign the Declaration.
Oh, yes, madam. We have not yet signed that document.
You are mad to put your name to such a thing. You will be a marked man.
I beg your pardon?
When the British Army arrives in Philadelphia, they will seek you out for special treatment.
You don't say.
'Tis bad enough you voted for it. Signing it will make you guilty of treason. You will be hanged.
Well, they will have to catch me first.
The fewer of you hotheads left when this rebellion is over, the better. And good riddance to the lot of you.
John Sullivan. General John Sullivan. So how did my men fare in the battle yesterday?
Over 600 Americans were killed. We captured 1,000 and 2 generals besides yourself. My brother, General William Howe, and I came to America to make peace.
Peace is not what you and your brother waged yesterday at Long Island.
It was a terrible defeat for you.
But you and I can work together now to prevent further loss of life.
I cannot make peace in America until I talk to your leaders, the Continental Congress.
But the king has forbidden me from contacting them.
That is where you can be of great assistance. Talk to the Congress for me. Tell your countrymen this bloodshed must stop. I know you do not fear your own death, but if you refuse, your men will die in this war.
My Lord Howe, a moment, please. My lord, how can you negotiate with these rebels? These people are provincials, not Englishmen. They must be forced to obey.
Sir, the less force used, the better chance for genuine peace. If we can talk them out of fighting, we can stop the drain of Britain's blood and treasure.
But they have rebelled against Britain for more than a year. How can we talk them out of fighting?
You forget. These rebels hail from 13 separate colonies. Each colony has her own money, her own people. Their delegates to Congress argue constantly. They are 13 small nations, not one large one.
You think the colonies will not stay united?
This rebellion will fail, sir. It is my task to make it fail with the least expense to Britain. General Sullivan, will you speak to the Congress for me?
General Washington saw no harm in Sullivan bringing a message to Congress from Lord Howe. Why should you?
He was sent to seduce us into renouncing our independence. Our army waits for us to send supplies and more soldiers, and instead Congress dithers with Lord Howe over foolish matters.
I would hardly call peace a foolish matter, Mr. Adams.
Lord Howe is generally interested in ending the war.
At the cost of American liberty? It's the devil's own bargain.
Is it not the greater sin to rush into war when there is another choice?
Mr. Stockton, we are already at war.
I know, Mr. Adams.
General, come. Let us discuss Lord Howe's offer more fully.
You believe Congress will send someone to meet with Lord Howe? Who? You say Rutledge is going to meet us there?
He is indeed.
This entire journey is a waste of time. I don't believe Lord Howe has the authority to treat with America as an independent state. And until that point is settled, it is to little purpose to discuss other matters.
Why attend? Halt the coach! Why attend this conference, then, Mr. Adams?
Nothing but the unanimous vote of Congress could have convinced me to go. But it ought to silence the loyalists once and for all. Last, they can leave off their cries of reconciliation.
You agree to attend a peace conference, but ignore any talk of peace?
The people you represent want independence.
Must I remind you, Mr. Adams, we represent the United States, not the bickering delegates of America.
Our enemies will never give up until they are compelled to it. The sooner we compel them, the sooner we will be independent. Walk on.
God save us from New Englanders. Drive on. The Adamses are always first in line to be hanged.
Gentlemen, to business. We all agree it is desirable to end this bloodshed. Is there no way to turn back this ruinous step of independency?
You could as easily turn back the ocean's tides, your lordship.
Tell me, did you not all grow rich and powerful under our system of government? Yet now you seek to throw it off.
I did not seek to throw it off, sir. Until your parliament refused to recognize our rights.
And we did not seek to throw it off, sir. We've already done it.
You, the wealthy elite.
No, sir. We, the people.
For God's sake, John, sit down. My Lord Howe, I lived in England for 20 years. I've seen firsthand the differences between the English culture and our own. Your own family has spent time in America.
Indeed, my elder brother died defending it from the French.
So you understand the differences as well as I. In America, a stranger is judged by his own merits, not by who his father was. There are no lords here.
Whatever the differences, your army recently was broken to pieces here in New York. Face facts, gentlemen. Your rebellion is nearly over. Come. This ruin hurts us all. When an American falls, Britain feels it.
Your lordship thinks the American spirit is broken. Your lordship is mistaken.
Dr. Franklin, I have brought with me the greatest force ever sent anywhere in the history of the world. This army camp is the largest city in your 13 colonies.
We noticed. All London is afloat in New York Harbor.
This massive force is at my command, and the king commands me to use it unless you and I can make peace.
Your lordship's earlier arrival in America could have made a treaty certain. A year ago, perhaps, when we begged the king to listen to our grievances. But now...
Now Britain has no hope of ruling America, except by force.
That is exactly my conundrum. The less force used, the better for us all. Do we not all want peace?
Peace with honor. My Lord Howe, why does not Britain consider an alliance now, before conflict creates further hatred between us? Our country should be allies, not enemies.
I regret that is not within my power. I am not permitted to negotiate with America as an independent state.
Well, my lord, as America is to expect total submission...
Please, no. Britain does not require total submission. I beg of you, do not leave here with that idea in your minds.
Well, has your lordship any proposals for us?
I am empowered to reinstate royal governments in every colony and to issue pardons to every American who desires the protection of the king.
Those who have committed no fault require no pardon.
Gentlemen, this is our last chance. Britain has the world's greatest army and navy. More than half of it is here, outside these walls, ready to strike. You will never defeat Britain.
Verily, sir. And yet we have no need to defeat Britain. We need only bleed her until she gives up, until you and this magnificent force are recalled to your own land.
Please, wait. I feel for America as for a brother. If America should fall, I would mourn it as a brother.
We shall do our utmost to save your lordship from that sorrow.
One word from you, Admiral, and they will be arrested.
No, sir. I would solve nothing. Look at this beautiful harbor. I shall be very sad to see America ravaged by war.
Is there no hope, sir, for British America?
Only one hope, sir. One hope. A quick victory.
Richard.
Up, you scum.
No. What are you doing?
Taking you prisoner, you lousy rebel.
I'm no rebel.
We know who you are. Now get up.
Let him be. Let him be.
Just let my wife and children be. I'll do whatever you want.
Aye, that you will. You'll make a fine prize for Lord Howe, I warrant. The signer of the Declaration.
Richard!
Tis an enormous insult, and God only knows what kind of filthy hovel they're holding him in.
Aye, and Richard's been ill. He'll not grow healthy in a common jail.
General Washington will work for Stockton's release as soon as possible.
I only hope we get to him first.
What do you mean first?
Lord Howe has issued a proclamation in New Jersey. Anyone who swears loyalty to the king will receive a full pardon for anything he's done.
They say 3,000 citizens have already taken it.
He wouldn't. Stockton wouldn't. Would he?
Richard Stockton is an honorable man, but he will worry for his wife and 6 children. He may feel that he has no other choice.
But he signed the Declaration.
We all did, Mr. Adams. And who knows what we would do if we were in Stockton's jail cell?
Get up! Up with you now. Lord Howe will be having a word with you.
Thank you, that will be all. Richard Stockton, I have a proposition for you if you'd like to better your condition. An oath of allegiance to the king. Sign it, and you can be on your way home within a day.
Why?
I beg your pardon?
Why?
Mr. Stockton, you are a rebel. If the king had commanded it, you would be aboard a ship for London already. If the winds were favorable, you might already have been hanged.
Oh. You want me to die at home, not in your prison?
I want to change people's minds. The people of New Jersey respect and listen to you. If they see you give up this rebellion, they will change their minds about it.
It matters not what I do. They will never give up their liberty.
We've already killed John Witherspoon.
What?
He signed the Declaration after you. You must have handed him the quill.
I do not believe you.
At Trenton. He was fleeing to safety in Pennsylvania. The British Army now completely controls your colony of New Jersey. What of your wife and children, Mr. Stockton?
Lord Howe, I vow, if you touch a hair on their head...
No, they're perfectly safe. I was just asking. What will become of them when you're dead? Annis, that's your wife's name, isn't it? Your daughter Julia, she's married to another signer, Benjamin Rush. And little Abigail, she's only 3 years old. You said yourself, it matters not what you do. Save your life. Protect your family from harm.
I want to see them. May I see my wife?
Swear allegiance to the king and you can spend the rest of your days with her. A full pardon. Protection for your home and lands. Help your country be at peace.
The British Army has reached the Delaware River. When the river freezes, they will march into Philadelphia. General Washington sent us warning.
Congress is adjourning to Baltimore.
I've just read the most remarkable tract from Thomas Paine.
No time. There's no time, Rutledge.
These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman.
That is breathtaking.
Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Fresh off the printing press.
Come, we must fly. Thomas Paine will sway the doubters to our cause if anyone can.
Can General Washington keep his army together? Congress can say what it wants to about independence, but American soldiers must win it.
The inspiring prose of the American crisis ignited renewed support for the Patriot cause, but their success was not guaranteed.
To those who lived through the year 1776, it was a time of uncertainty and fear, not a time for celebration. Richard Stockton was released from jail, but during the war, his house in New Jersey was plundered and many of his possessions burned.
4 other signers, including Edward Rutledge, were captured between 1776 and 1783. As military officers, they were treated as prisoners of war rather than the leaders of a rebellion.
9 signers died during the war, but none of them were killed by the British.
Benjamin Franklin and John Adams negotiated the Treaty of Paris, which ended the Revolutionary War in 1783. Adams went on to become the 2nd President of the United States.
Thank you for joining us.